Hi friends, welcome to Moms and Money, where we talk about managing money, making money, and saving money for the women in the household. So today we are talking about back to school. Yes, back to school supplies. Now, it just warmed my heart when I saw a comment from one of you guys that said, can you please do a how to budget for back to school video? And I was like, me? Of course, I love back to school. If you're familiar with my other channel, Marriage and Motherhood, I always post several back to school supplies hauls on that channel. I just love that kind of stuff. And I love buying it and providing it with my girls in their schools and their classrooms and stuff like that. I'm a pen girl. I love pens. I love papers, markers, colored pencils, and all that kind of stuff. But I also know that that stuff can get very expensive. And when back to school time comes, if you haven't prepared for it, it can be a big hit to your budget. And that's why I want to do this video, so that it can help you prepare for that time and so that it doesn't hit your monthly budget so hard. So first of all, let me just share with you what I do. Me personally, what we do is I treat school supplies back to school time as a sinking fund. I have a sinking fund for back to school supplies, and I have a sinking fund for back to school clothes or uniforms. What that means is sinking funds are just a way to save a little bit at a time every single month for a whole year typically, and then when it's time for you to go shopping for that stuff, you just pull that cash out, and now you have the cash to buy all the things you need. Now I have a full video that explains and breaks down sinking funds. You can tap this eye right here to watch it if you're new to the idea of how to use sinking funds. Okay, so that's how we prepare for back to school supplies and back to school clothes or uniforms. Now, I know not everybody, if you're looking at this and you know back to school is right around the corner for you and you don't have time, like you don't have a whole year to save a little bit of money for it. Well, I want to encourage you to just save as much as you can until that time comes. So if you know that your child is going to need new uniforms, I mean, a lot of us are learning digitally right now, but the schools are still asking for certain things, or you're still going to need to provide certain things for your child to have a positive school learning environment in your home. They're still going to need the pencils and the pens and the paper and stuff like that. So if you know that's coming, I would just try to set aside maybe $20 a week if you can for a whole week, and maybe give yourself a budget of $100 and get the basics that they're going to need to get them through this digital learning time. Now, I know for my kids' school, they're still asking for reams of copy paper and disinfectant wipes and disinfectant spray and stuff like that. And that stuff really adds up. Now, is it mandatory for you to get these things for your children? No, it is not. But I find it as is my responsibility. I want to enable the school and the teachers and their classes to be as great as they can, since your child, they're teaching your children. I don't think it's fair for teachers to have to come out of their pocket to supply their classrooms with the things that they need. So I don't think it's just fair for us to say, no, I'm not sending anything into the school, if you know what I mean. Teachers sacrifice a lot, and they don't get paid enough. And so I'm going to give as much as I can to enable them to have everything that they need in order to teach my children, So that's just my philosophy on it. I know some of these back to school supplies lists can get outrageous, and it seems outrageous, but honestly, with the way funding just keeps constantly getting decreased for education, it's not that outrageous for these schools to be asking for these things that they need to educate your children. So, and plus it's the education of your child, So like I said, we treat back to school as a time just like sinking funds, like we do for Christmas and for birthdays and everything like that. So we save a little bit of money each month for a whole year to give us enough money to be comfortable to buy anything we need. So typically I have some left over, and I just roll that amount over for the next year. But like I said, if you're in a position where it's back to school time, a lot of people forget that back to school comes. They don't think about it. They don't think about it until a couple of weeks before school, and that's when you're like panicking, like, what do I need to do? So start preparing now for next year. So just keep saving. So even though you're saving $20 a week here, if you can, to get yourself enough stuff for this year, continue to save that $20 a week for the whole year so that you'll have enough for back to school next year. Now, it may not be $20 a week. You don't have to continue to, like, I'm $20, I'm just making a number up in my head. But after you buy this stuff for this year, reduce the amount to, to maybe $10 a week or something, or $5 a week for the whole year, so that you have plenty in order to supply your child for everything that they need. Because I know it gets expensive. The paper, the markers, the pens and stuff, that gets expensive. But again, they're our children. It's our responsibility. Let's make sure that they, even if they're learning digitally, that they're digitally learning and they have everything that they need at their fingertips. Now let me show you some of the printables that I use when it comes to back to school shopping. So these are some of the printables that I have in my shop: sinking funds, and then your goal here, your monetary goal, and then how the date, the beginning balance, the input, output, and then the ending balance. This is where you would list all of your sinking funds. This goal doesn't have to be a monetary goal. It can be any kind of categorical goal that you have for your sinking fund here. For instance, this is emergency fund and yard fund here. This is the amount that you're inputting. This is what you're taking out. That's your ending balance. You want to add back to school on your list so that it's, first of all, it's on your radar and you know that you need to save a little bit for it. And even if your beginning balance is 0 and then you're inputting 20 here, and then you'll have your cash envelope, just put some cash on hand if you have it to save, or if you do all your saving electronically. For me, I manage all of the savings electronically in Excel. I know that I'm transferring money over into my savings account, and a little bit of that is going to be towards back to school. And then when it's time, I take the allocated amount out of the savings account and put it in my cash envelope, and I do all the shopping that I need. So that is how you can do it using the printables. Again, the link in the description box is for my printables. If you are a pen and paper type of person or anything like that, I have all different types of printables in my shop. It can get a little overwhelming, especially if you have multiple children with different things on the list. I go to multiple stores. I typically go to Walmart, Target, and the Dollar Tree. But if you are in a pinch and you're just now starting to save for back to school, girl, you can get everything you need at the Dollar Tree. Everything, but you have to get to the Dollar Tree early because they sell out and then they won't restock for back to school. So get to the Dollar Tree early and get everything you need. They have the pencils, they have the notebooks, they have the binders, all of that is at the Dollar Tree. Now, if you need a wider selection, I typically go to Walmart and Target. Target's, they have a little bit nicer things, and usually, I don't know, sometimes Target is cheaper than Walmart. It just depends. You've got to look at your weekly ads when they run the sales. It's usually in July. In my area, it's always in July because back to school starts in August, mid-August, late August, early August. It just depends on the school. Most schools in Georgia go back to school in August. So July is really where they hit the back to school sales run. So I don't know what it is, how it is in your area. It may be like that, or maybe in August where the back to school sales start, and then your child goes back to school in September. But I usually make myself a nice organized list of the things that I need, the things that the school needs. I will make a list, and then the things that we're gonna have that we need for at home, I will make a list. Because honestly, all of these school supplies that I've bought over the years, that is what has really kept us through this whole time of being quarantined, of having to do school from home, digitally learning. Thankfully, I have all these things, so my kids are able to do their arts and crafts and their little drawings and stuff like that, just having everything that they need. So again, take back to school time like a sinking fund, just like you save for Christmas every single year, a little bit every year, hopefully in your sinking funds. Add a back to school category if you can, in order to, make this time. Now you can download my free zero-based budget in the description box, and you can also purchase some of my budgeting printables if you are a pen and paper person, to try to help you organize your sinking funds all together, or even organize your back to school sinking fund so that you will have enough money saved up next year to just use cash to pay for your school supplies. Now, if you're saving every single week and you're doing this really quick for this year for back to school, I suggest using a cash envelope. I sell cash envelopes in my shop. The link is in the description box, but use any kind of cash envelope you have. Girl, put that $20 in here every single week. Maybe you have a couple weeks left and you're able to save $60 or $80. You'll have the $80 put into your cash envelope, and this is the cash envelope you take with you to go shopping and get everything you need. Once you run out of this cash, you'll just have to make it work with what you get with that $80 or $60 for your child or your children. You can make it work. So that is my advice when it comes to back to school. Leave a comment down below and let me know, when do your children go back to school? Have you gotten any of their supplies yet? I will be doing a huge haul over on my other channel, marriage and motherhood, about back to school. Yeah, I'm really excited. Again, my kids will be learning digitally, but I'm excited to have the positive space and have all the things that they need here to get the job done. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, you can tap my picture on the screen. You can also check out my previous video right next to it, and all of my social media platforms all listed down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.